Hello everyone, poker variance is way smaller than you think for Nolan and Hold'em cash games. I came across a video today saying that the variance is actually way bigger, and I strongly disagree. I haven't watched the full video, but just by the statement, unless you're a very beginner who's just learned the rules and think that if you play 10 hands with me you're going to win just because you're better, this statement is not true. The issue with the statement is that first we have to establish what people actually think, and second, whether people actually know what variance is. So let's just have a quick test. What do you think? For an online pro, cash games, he plays cash games for a year, let's assume 95% chance of having a winning year. Do you think that the chance of actually having a winning year for a cash game pro is higher or lower online? And about losing months, let's say 3 losing months in a year. Do you think an online cash game pro has 3 losing months, more or less than this? And on to the second part, do you actually know what the variance and downswing, what the difference is between variance and downswing? Many people talk about variance as if they were talking about downswing, but those are two very different concepts. So watch this video attentively until the end and you will not only understand the difference, but also have great examples, probably the funniest or at least best ones on the internet, to help you deal with the swing of these games. What is probably true is that people underestimate how frequently they are on a downswing and for how long they asked. But this is no issue at all. If you really understand what a downswing is, you'll see that some downswings are actually quite nice. You'll understand. Hold on. But most importantly, variance is smaller than what you think. So what is variance? It's the standard deviation of a game. In online cash games, it's typically about 90, 95, 100. Let's assume 95 is an average because I don't want to tend to the lower side, but it's likely that if you're the average reg, it's slightly below 95. Now, the variance has nothing to do with the win rate, or whether you're playing Zoom or regular tables. The standard deviation will be quite similar. It depends more on your playing style and whether you're playing deep stack, short stack, these kind of things. But the standard deviation won't significantly change regarding regular tables, Zoom. What Zoom games will do though is decrease your win rate, therefore decrease your expected winnings and increase the severeness of your downswings. But this is not a problem, you'll understand. The first example I'm going to choose is a silly one. You're the best player in the world. You have 100 big blinds per 100, you crush everything, which of course is not possible in online games. Your standard deviation is established is 95 and you play 50k hands in a month. Such a truly outstanding player would have a winning graph 100% of the time after the month, 0% chance of being down, always up, 95% of the time he'll be winning between $45,751 and $54,249 if he was playing 100 NL. So is it a big variance whether you're winning 46,000 or 54,000 a month? Doesn't matter, right? I mean, okay, one month 48, the other 52, all good. The problem here is win rates in poker are low, so it's not a game with such a skill advantage where you have these high win rates. But if you had such a win rate, I'm sure you wouldn't be complaining much about variance at all. So now let's take a more realistic example, a top regular. By top regular, I really mean a top regular because 10 big blinds per 100 is really rare in online poker. So the standard deviation is still going to be 95 and we're still going to give him 50k hands in a month. This player is going to be up 99% of the time after 50k hands, so 99% chance of having a winning month, and 95% of the time he'll be winning something between $750 and $9,249 if he was playing 100 NL and 5k were his expected winnings. The problem here is if you extend that you have a look at the downswings here on the bottom, you already see that there are some downswings. Despite having 10 big blinds per 100, you're on a downswing of 10 buy-ins about 20% of the time, and they last for about 20k hands more than 12% of the time. And the problem here is it sucks to be down. People have a hard time accepting not to be on the absolute top and having just lost $500, $1,000 at 100 NL, which happens to everyone in online poker. Luckily, you've been thinking about downswings the wrong way. So what is a downswing? It just means that you're below your highest point. So when you look back to the top, to your maximum winnings, you are having slightly less than you had. But this doesn't mean that you're down overall since you started. So if you start a month with 0, you win $5,000 and then you lose $1,000, you're up for $1,000 for the month. Still you're on a downswing just because at some point you had slightly more. So downswings do not matter, but wait for the great example I'll give you in this video to help you deal with them better. But now to the win rates. Let's take realistic win rates for our examples. Ideally, there are two kinds of professional players. There's either the one with a high win rate. This is the guy who's going to be table selecting, only playing the nicest tables, not too many at once. The downside of this type of approach is that you have a lower volume, you play less hands in a month. The other kind of pro focuses more on getting higher volume, playing lots of hands per month, so he could be playing Zoom or very many regular tables, but the downside to it is that his win rate will be lower than the first type of pro. The win rate is what you win on average, including the rake back. So if you have 3 big blinds pre-rake back and win 3 big blinds per 100 in rake back, your win rate is 6 big blinds. Don't let anyone tell you something else. Rake back is part of your win rate. At the end of the month, what you won is what you won pre-rake back, adding what you win after the rake back. That's your win rate. You will never know your true win rate in advance. It's just what you guesstimate to be your average winnings in big blinds per 100, considering that sometimes you play your A game, sometimes you play your C game during a downswing, sometimes you find tougher tables, sometimes softer tables. It's what you expect to win on average. So the above average win rate, let's say 5 big blinds per 100 and playing 50,000 hands in a month, which is slightly below average for a professional player, standard deviation still being 95, this type of player will be up 88% of the time after the 50k hands, so 88% of a chance to having a winning month, and in 95% of the cases he will maximum lose $1,749, but also be winning up to $6,745 when his expected winnings are $2,500. Problem again, the downswings. He will be down 20 binds 30% of the time, or down 30 binds even 15% of the time. This is what hurts, being down. Now, if you're not this type of player with a high win rate, instead you're a rake back grinder, let's say you have 2 big blinds, 2.5 big blinds per 100, this including rake back, so you could be down on GG with an absurd high rake, pre-rake back, but get lots of rake back and overall have 2.5 pp per 100, standard deviation 95, you make up for it by playing high volume, so you play higher volume than the average pro, 100,000 hands a month. You, the rake back grinder, will be up 80% of all months, and you need about 54 binds to start with this approach if you have this expected win rate to have less than a 5% chance of a win. So if you play 100 NL and you start with $5,400, that's in 95% of the cases going to be enough. If you were the first type of pro with 5 BB per 100, table selecting more, you'd only need about 27 binds, so $2,700 is enough to start with only a 5% chance of this not working out. I hope you're starting to understand that the variance is not that big. Rounding up, 60 binds is enough for you to play Zoom if you have 2.5 big blinds per 100 expected, including rake back, and the 95% of chance of this working out is enough for you. You're winning over 80% of the months. The problem is you will be over 40% of the time on downswings of 30 buy-ins, which could last over 100,000 hands. So again, the downswing is the problem. Frequent downswings with low win rates, and they last very long with low win rates. And another problem is you don't know your exact win rate, so instead of having 2.5 big blinds per 100, you could maybe only have 1 or be a break-even player. So do you know if you really are a winning player? Because if you're not a winning player, of course all this is nonsense, and then the problem of you is not having high variance. The problem of you is not expected to win anything. You aren't expected to win, of course will be down very frequently, always. A break-even player, so 0 BB per 100, who saw that he had 2 big blinds per 100 over the 50,000 hands. This had a chance of 32%, so 32% of the times a break-even player is up after a month of playing 50k hands, which means that it is quite easy for someone to overestimate the win rate. A 3 big blind per 100 loser, he is up after 50k hands 24% of the time. They are always on a downswing, so these guys, they will never see the very top. They're always on some sort of downswing, but still they will say, now I have improved, now I'm going to play 50k hands, and after 50k hands all of a sudden they are up and they think, now I'm a winning player, but they are not. And these players who are losing players or break even typically play less volume than a professional player, so the 50k hands is even a high example. If the -3 big blinds per 100 player only plays 10k hands in a month, he'll be up 37% of the time. And fish play even less hands and their standard deviation is higher, so those low volumes, they of course also will be up sometimes and think they're winning play. So the problem of this game, or it's not a problem because this is what sustains this game, but what you think is high variance actually is low win rate. The issue with this game is that the win rates are low, and therefore, despite the variance not being that large, it is easy for someone to be down. And an untrained human being has a problem with being down. Their emotions, they get all over the place. If they are down 10 buy-ins, they just lost a few flips. It doesn't matter that before they had been winning 40 buy-ins. They are down, they start moaning about it and don't know how to deal with it. It doesn't matter what the long run is going to be about. It's about your feelings. You don't know how to deal with the downswing, and this is the major issue here. And now to the examples of why the downswing is not a problem, to help you deal with these downswings better and understand that in the long run everything is good, a downswing is good. This is what a graph looks like of a downswing, possibly. So you win, you're very up, and now you're a little bit down. This is what you perceive as a downswing. This is when you start getting tilted and unhappy about your life. Let's have analogies with real life. Happy moments in life. Let's say you're a child and the happiest moment is when you get nice presents. The nicest presents you got when you were 12 years old was a new PlayStation. When it's your 13th birthday, you just get a new game for your PlayStation. You probably were happier when you got the PlayStation than when you got the new game. If you're Dudley from Harry Potter, you're going to get tilted. You just got a game. Last year you got a PlayStation, now you're going to get 2 PlayStations and an Xbox. The thing is, you should still be happy because something good happened. You won a game. It is better. It's just not as good as the PlayStation, but it's a happy moment. Now, if you're an adult, let's say you're in a job, you get a promotion, happiest moment. Now, every time your boss is going to tell you, hey, I like you, you're working well, instead of feeling happy, you feel like, oh no, but last year he gave me a promotion, this sucks. He just says I'm happy about you. No, you can still feel happy about the compliment. If you're dating, you met some very nice girl at some point, and now you're not with her anymore, and you meet a new one. Are you really going to say, oh no, but the last one was even prettier? If this one is very pretty, yeah, you could go and be very tilted about it and very unhappy about it. Always look back at the highest point, at the happiest moment of the most successful point, and feel like this moment is less good and feel tilted. Some people are like this, but most of you are not. No, you are just happy about every moment, despite there having been even nicer moments before. So all in all, let me throw you first with some facts and then give you a few advice. A decent pro, he is a professional player, so he has 5 big blinds per 100 as a win rate. He has a winning session that consists of 400 hands, so it's just 400 hands. You can play, of course, longer sessions or smaller, but let's say 400 hands. 54% of the times you have a winning session. A winning day, 2000 hands per day, 59% of the time you have a winning day. A winning week, 12,000 hands per week, 72% of the time. A winning month, 50,000 hands in a month, 88% of the time. A winning year, 500,000 hands per year, so you even take 2 months off in the year, 99.9% of the time. If you're the rig-back grinder, of course you need a little bit higher volume. You play 1 million hands, you're up 99% of the time, 99.5% of the time, if you just have 2.5 PB per 100 in expected winnings. So the problem is not the variance. You saw how professionals' cash game lifestyle is. Up most month, up every year basically. The problem are your feelings. So it's not like the examples exactly like the examples I use, because it's not like in a downswing you just won a little bit less than when you were in an upswing. You're actually losing something, and your human being, brain, emotions, heart, whatever it is, you panic about it. You can't deal with the feeling of being down, and this is what makes the downswing look like a problem. But look at the whole graph. Look at the beginning of the year to where you're now. You're very likely, if you're a winning player, going to be up, even though you're slightly down compared to the top moment. So don't look back to the top moment, look back to the start of the year. This is not tennis against a 3-year-old. You're not going to win every single game, but this is obvious to you. So the variance is not larger than you expect because you know this is not tennis against a 3-year-old. There's more variance than in tennis, and the skill advantage you have in poker is lower than when you're playing tennis against a 3-year-old. So the only two advices I can give you is, first, when you downswing, the downswing only means you're currently not in the happiest possible moment of your life, but you're still in a happy moment because you're up overall since you started playing this game. And the second advice is to be less frequently on the downswing, improve your game, improve your win rate, and this you can do by hiring me as a coach. My contacts are here in the description.